Even though the AI Act is very important, it is not the only legal instrument that addresses AI development and use. In this video, we will go over some of the international and national regulatory initiatives addressing artificial intelligence. It is important to mention that different realities require different approaches. Also, instruments can be non-binding and only apply as soft law, as good practices. However, ethics and sustainable development have been central and reoccurring in this debate. National approaches are very relevant to guarantee that cultural, societal, and contextual aspects are considered in the obligations set by norms. Currently, various jurisdictions are working on laws to address and regulate artificial intelligence. As interesting examples, we will go over some of these initiatives, focusing on the highlights of the approaches in Brazil, China, and the United States. In South America, even though Brazil does not have a codified law regarding AI, there are intensive and ongoing legislative debates for the approval of a specific law for the regulation of AI. The proposed bill follows a risk-based approach, after debates regarding the possible adoption of a rights-based approach. The provisional text sets different rules of impact assessment and transparency obligations to the stakeholders involved in the life cycle of AI. Going to Asia, China has applied AI to daily life activities, such as public transport or regular purchases. This allowed a considerable development of accurate Chinese AI technologies. With this central role in the AI chain, China published the Artificial Intelligence Security Governance Framework, setting principles to guarantee a safe development and use of AI. This document does follow a risk-based approach, differentiating inherent risks and risks related to the use of AI technologies. The Asian country also adopted the Measures for the Management of Generative AI Services, aiming at a balance between development and security. This document addresses technologies that create content, also known as generative AI, such as ChatGPT, and sets obligations regardless of the specific risks of the technology, following an approach more connected to rights and duties. China also counts with other sector-specific regulations, such as the rules on algorithmic recommendations. Coming back to North America, we explore the United States of America. The US is widely known for letting the market regulate itself. On this, we have to keep in mind that the US houses the biggest tech companies in the world. However, considering the risks related to the broad use of AI, the country is also discussing the possibility of approving an AI regulation. Public and private hearings were already held to discuss the topic, where different interests were discussed. These discussions follow the US common approach of focusing and supporting technology and economy development. So, a law with a different approach, more pro-market, is expected. Even though national laws are important, nowadays, with globalization and easy connections, we face global challenges, which require transnational norms. Technology, for example, is usually designed to be used all over the world, leading to international transfer of information and products. With this in mind, different international norms have been created seeking for more harmony on global topics between different jurisdictions. Today, we will take a look on some of them. These international AI norms have adopted similar but different concepts of AI, but we can see common principles and values in these documents, such as accountability and human in the center. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, known as OECD, has always been active in topics related to technologies that affect economy. With AI, this was not different. The OECD is responsible for creating the first international standard on AI, the AI Principles. With more than 40 countries and regions already adhering to the standards, the norm has a very relevant global role. By recommending research, training, and international cooperation in the field of artificial intelligence, the principles focus on trust and democratic values, with rules about human rights, transparency, robustness, and security. Regardless of its name, the Council of Europe is a global body. Any country can adhere to the conventions approved by the body. With this, the Council has played a central role in the global harmonization of rules for technology, being responsible for the Convention 108 on cybersecurity, for example, which has been adopted by countries all over the world. For years, the Council of Europe has worked on the regulation of AI, counting with a group of experts to lead the discussion. This resulted in interesting documents, such as the Guidelines on Artificial Intelligence. This instrument was important for setting good practices for stakeholders. However, it was not binding, so no obligations were created by the guidelines. But in 2024, the AI Convention was formally adopted by the Council of Europe. The Convention is binding for its signatories, and even though it does not categorize AI systems according to risks, it requires the signatories to adopt an approach to differentiate AI systems by the risks assessed. So, the Convention does not follow a risk-based approach, but does address it as a good approach for the countries that adhere to the Convention. Following the global trends, the United Nations adopted a resolution on safe, secure, and trustworthy artificial intelligence systems for sustainable development. This resolution is a representative milestone of the policy efforts to have ground rules for responsible development and use of AI. By highlighting the importance of frameworks, standards, regulatory and governance approaches, the resolution reaffirms the need to observe and respect fundamental freedoms and rights in the full life cycle of AI systems. Additionally, the UN also adopted the non-binding document governing AI for humanity, which establishes recommendations for safer governance of AI, which include the suggestion of establishing a global fund to mitigate the regional discrepancies in developing AI, aiming for different countries to have everything needed to further develop safe AI. So, even if your country does not have a specific regulation on AI, there are several other instruments that can serve as a north, as a good practice with global relevance. We did not go over all the regulatory initiatives in the world, since new instruments appear daily, but this is a great start for your research.